How's your dating life going?
Yeah, no, that's what we really.
What happened to with that girl that got sick?
Sorry. I went to a sushi place that shall not be named in an area that shall not be named. What had happened was I had made us a reservation for a sushi place that I then found out was a coursed omakase experience only. Even though that when I booked it online, it allowed me to book a standard reservation, which I then found out later meant that the reservation just defaulted to the coursed omakase. Now, normally I would go to coursed omakase because it's fucking fire and it sounds sexy and romantic and kind of like a subtle flex, but not intentional because she already wanted sushi anyway. Because I had actually made us a reservation for a different place. And then she was talking about sushi, and I was like, baby girl, I'm reading between the lines. I'm going to give us a sushi restaurant reservation pivot. What are you doing?
I'm shifting the camera slightly this way.
You're touching it?
Yes, because it's too much.
That's fine. Touch it, baby.
Shut up. Not in the mood. Look like a pirate. Pirate's not in the mood. I'm going to take this fucking headband off.
Arr,
matey. God, I hate myself.
Brr.
Not okay.
Okay, so omakase, I decided not to do the coursed experience because I felt like she wanted to do more of like an a la carte, pick your journey thing. Also, she has some allergies and she doesn't like salmon because she thinks it's slimy. And I was like, okay, if
I don't like salmon either.
a coursed omakase experience is going to have like probably at least 2 or 3 salmon courses. So that's a.
What is omakase? Actually, I don't care. It's fine.
Okay. So anyway, I moved the reservation to a sushi restaurant that's across the street from Katie's, so that was LOL. It's funny too because when we got there, we sat down and the waiter who was taking care of us, I thought he was just a normal guy. And then my date was like, I think he's into you. And I was like, no, he's not. And she was like, no, he definitely is. He's like mirroring you. Oh. And I was like, what do you mean?
What does that mean?
And she's like, well, when you were ordering, you kind of like started to do a little dancey dance and then he started to do one too. And he keeps like giggling at things that you say that aren't actually that funny. And I was like,
your voice funny?
Well, I know. I was like, bitch, you're out. No, I'm just kidding.
Next.
So anyway, we're at the date. The date is starting off very well. She's just super hot.
Nice.
And just well spoken, and
wow,
the banter's
really
the banter's good. Eye contact's
I might
good.
Cry today, you guys might see me cry. Sorry, go ahead.
I was rather feral. We're flirting, it's great, we're having a good time. And then she's like, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom. And I was like, okay, no problem. Go do your thing. So she goes to the bathroom. Are you good?
Yes.
Oh. So she goes to the bathroom and time starts to tick. Now I'm a grown man, right? I know how long it takes a woman to go to the bathroom, roughly. So after like minute 2 or 3, I'm just like, oh, okay. It's probably a single-use bathroom, or maybe there's only 2 stalls and there were already 2 ladies in there, whatever. It's no big deal. Now it's like minute 4 or 5. And I'm like, maybe she's taking a shit.
Which is totally fine and normal.
Which is, yeah, no. It's totally fine and totally normal. I'm just in my head, like, progressing through the stream of consciousness of what could be taking the time it's taking.
Okay, sorry.
So yeah,
now
it's like 10 minutes has gone by, possibly more. And I honestly,
you texted her after 10 minutes.
No.
There's like a 20-minute like grace period
20
before
minutes?
you text them.
Okay, well, we're gonna come back to that.
Okay.
But
if she's taking a shit, then all right.
But so then now in my head I'm like, there's no way she left, right? Like I felt like I looked nice, you know, like
can you take your
we were having a good time. I'm like, there's no way she bailed on me. Right? You know? I'm like, dude, there's no way she bailed on me. That'd be crazy. That'd be so ruthless. And then I pull out my phone because my phone's DND in my pocket face down. I'm full, you know, I'm giving her my full attention. And thank God I did, because she had texted me. And she was like, hey, I feel so bad, but, like, I'm sick. And I was like, oh my God, what do you mean? And she's like, I literally feel sick. Like, I feel like I'm going to throw up. I've just been sitting in this stall, like, preparing to puke.
She was
And
pooping.
I was like, no.
She had explosive diarrhea.
No, she wasn't.
How would you know? Did you go in there and sniff it?
Because I said, okay, take your time. And then a few minutes later, she came out and she was like, I feel like the worst person in the world, but I honestly need to go home. Like, I'm extremely nauseous. And
What did you guys eat?
I got the chill. We didn't eat anything. That's how quickly it happened. I had put in the whole order. All of our appetizers, the rolls, the nigiri, the sashimi. But the only thing that had hit the table was the edamame. And she didn't even have any of it. And I had only had like maybe one or two.
Did she look unwell?
She didn't look unwell when she got there, but when she got back from the bathroom, she did not look like she was having a good time.
Like sweaty, diaphoretic, pale.
She
and diaphoretic are the
she
same
looked
thing.
visibly like shaken. I didn't think she looked sweaty, but she did look, I suppose, a little paler.
Okay, so forgive me, but I am like, what? Like, was she bailing?
Well, so that's
an excuse.
So in my head, I was like, okay, she's either being totally legit, and she just feels really bad, and I'm gonna get some brownie points for genuinely not caring and wanting her to be better, and not like forcing a date. That'd be terrible. Or she's bailing. So I wouldn't say the phrase "call her out" is appropriate because I would never do that. But when she came back, I was like, "Are you okay? How are you feeling? Whatever." And like I said, that's when she was like, I think we need to just 86 whatever they haven't started making yet, take everything to go. And like, I have to go lay down. Like I might need to even go back to the bathroom before we leave. And I was like, listen, I'm totally cool to do all of that. I want you to get home and rest. We can see each other next weekend, but just like be super 1000% honest with me. Like, are you bailing?
Oh, you asked her?
Yeah. Cause like I'm a grown man. It's fine. If she's bailing, it's fine. Just tell me. And she was like, no, absolutely
I don't
not.
know
She
if I
like
would've asked.
she like offered to show me the
So obviously she wouldn't say yes.
She offered to show me the group chat with her girls where she was like
with her poop in the toilet, her diarrhea.
where she was like apparently texting her girlfriends like, oh my God, I feel so bad. Like I really want to like spend time with this guy and I feel sick.
Okay.
And then
I believe
what confirmed that she wasn't bailing is I 86'd all of the rolls. They had already made the appetizers, which were fine. I had the guy bag them up. I paid. We walked out. Her and I were like making jokes about how the server thinks like she's a total bitch because we're leaving that quickly. And then I was like, no, he just thinks we're going to bang. And like, we just couldn't control ourselves. And then I walked her back to her car, which was right around the corner.
She drove?
She drove.
Sober queen?
She was going to have a glass of wine or two, but yeah. And
Where does she live?
Somerville. Got that.
Jersey. Got that.
And then when she left, we like made out a little bit.
Oh, while she was like, I'm gonna puke?
Well, like, I kind of made a joke about how like I wish she wasn't nauseous because I wanted to kiss her goodbye.
Oh, and then she gave you a little smoochy.
And then she gave me a little smooch, yeah.
God, that is a great story.
And then I sent her off.
So now what? God, this guy again?
Who?
I don't know. This guy, I keep ignoring him on Instagram, but he keeps like asking me on a date, and
How did he find you?
We matched on Hinge. It was totally my bad. I think I like made him more. No. This was like months and months ago.
No.
It was my fault because I had matched with him twice on purpose because I was like, oh my God, because I had deleted my account and then I had to like redo an account and then I like matched with him and I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like my other account got deleted, but like I found you again. Hi.
So you liked him?
I think he, like maybe, I don't know. He was British and had tattoos, which is hot. But you know, then I like.
Suddenly.
Then I just was, you know, my interests shift and vary and they, you know, I lose interest. Right. So no longer interested, but he keeps like trying. And at first I was like excuse and I would make an excuse and then another excuse and then another excuse. And now it's like, now I'm just like straight up ignoring him. I feel bad, but.
You were making excuses in the DMs.
Yeah. Like I would be like, oh, I can't this weekend. It's a really busy weekend or whatever.
Does he live in New York?
Yeah. They all do.
They all do. She says.
All do.
Okay, so let's...
Wait, so your date got sick.
Let's recalibrate.
Now what?
Yeah, we went on quite the...
So, yeah, Alex's date had explosive diarrhea in the bathroom, and...
Allegedly.
You got your duck?
You got your duck.
Or mallard?
It's a mallard.
I heard you say that to him, like, the first time you saw the mallard. I was, like, doing my makeup, and you were here. We were, like, about if you were like, is it a duck or is it a mallard? And it was, like, that was a vocal stem in my brain for, like, a solid week. I would just say, is that a duck or is that a mallard?
Hell yeah. I'm actually genuinely so honored that I created a vocal stem.
Anything can cause a vocal stem. Literally anything.
It's not a duck, it's a pelican. Finding Nemo.
No.
No?
No.
Shucks. Okay, you're up.
All right. So I was dating this guy for a month, and we decided to be exclusive. And not even 24 hours after becoming exclusive, my fault, I had a crash out, which I haven't done in a while, like an emotional crash out, like an irrational one. I've been really good at containing those, pretty much like since I've had a boyfriend. Like, I have like that crazy girlfriend part of me that I'm very, very aware of. And ever since like being single for the past however many years, like she has disappeared somewhat. And I had like a crazy girlfriend moment where it was like irrational, something that did not need to make me emotional, made me emotional. And I like basically crashed out, and I broke up with him over text out of nowhere.
Did you though?
Yeah, I sent you the text. Or
were you just having a crash out?
I sent you the text, what I've said.
Okay.
I was like, I think we became exclusive too fast and I'm regretting having sex with you. Essentially, that's what I said. Which I didn't mean.
Excuse me.
I was just having an insecure crash out. And he never answered that. And then he randomly reached out to me a few days later. Again, this is after we were supposed to be literally exclusive. And he was like, just want you to know that I miss you. Let me know, like, if you want to talk or if you still need more space. And I, like, saw that text and I was like, okay, we're good. Doors back open. Like...
Which, to be fair, in my male brain, I would think, like, almost the same thing.
Right. Literally no indication. And like, he reached out to me, right, like a few days later. And so I answered and I was like, hey, yeah, I miss you too. Would love to talk later tonight. And then he didn't answer for like 12 hours. So then I followed up and I was like, hello? And then he answered and sent like a bunch of messages about him being busy. And then I responded like, oh, it's okay. Like, just call me when you're done with your workout or whatever he was doing. Never heard from him ever again. So I FaceTimed him 2 days after that, out of the blue, no warning. And he was like on a bike ride, actually. Like,
but he answered.
Biking like 25 miles. He answered. And we had a conversation.
So once again, like...
Right. He answered. We had a conversation. He explained like that I scared the fuck out of him. Makes sense. I scared myself too. But I'm at least socially aware. I'm self-aware enough to say, yes, that was not great of me to do that, and I'm sorry, and I don't know why I reacted like that. Well, I do it as a sense of, like, I try to protect myself because I've been hurt a lot. I've had a lot of failed situationships, and after some time, you just develop these habits, not so much really knowing that you're developing them, but you kind of like, I'll try to end it before they have a chance to like ghost me or end it. But it just comes off as very crazy because it was quite literally out of the blue that I just texted him that I was.
Which, to be fair, everyone develops those types of habits that manifest in different ways.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, well, this is where I'm coming from. I was protecting myself. Please forgive me. And he was like, okay, that makes sense. And then he was like, all right, well, I got to do this 25-mile bike ride. I'll text you when I'm home. And I'm like, okay, either he texts me when he's home or he doesn't. The text when he gets home is key. If he texts me when he's home, Door's back open. We're good to go. So he texts me when he's home. And I'm like, nice. In it. Amazing. And he just was talking about his bike ride and shit. But it was late. And he had gotten me like this piece of lingerie a few weeks ago.
Whoa, new story unlocked.
Yeah. It was actually like a chef's kiss piece of lingerie, like very hot.
Like a set?
Have not worn it. No, it was like a romper kind of thing ish.
So it's one, like, I guess what I'm asking you is if you put it on, are you covered up entirely?
Yes. Yeah.
Like you don't need another thing to have one part of your...
No, it's like a romper thing.
Got it. Yeah, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it.
I sent him a picture of that, and I'm like, because we had not confirmed or denied the state of the relationship yet. And I was telling him...
You wearing it?
No, just a picture of it hanging up. Oh. And I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? And that was kind of my... way of being like, do you want, are we back on or are we not? Or is there a possibility of being back on or not, right? So me sending that was my subtle way of figuring out where he was at, right? He was either going to say, oh my God, keep it, wear it for me. Or he can be, or just not answer. Or, say, I don't know, you could sell it. You know what I mean? But he responded and he was like something along the lines of, you could wear it for me, maybe. And I'm like,
wait,
nice.
This is news. You didn't tell me about this.
No, this was on like 30. Yeah, I did. I sent you screenshots, I think.
You're like, look, bitch.
I did. I sent you screenshots. You know everything about this entire situationship. So, he then sent me a voice note. I told you about the voice note, right? And he was like, yeah, like, I'm really exhausted. I'm in bed right now, like, under the covers, da-da-da. And he's like, I really miss you. I wish I was in your bed right now, except your bed's so hard. But, like, I wish I was next to you. I hope Larry's doing okay. I don't know. I don't remember if he, like, said anything about, like, texting me in the morning or whatever. But, yeah, I didn't answer that right away because it was, like, 10 o'clock at night and I wanted to go to bed and I wanted to let it fester a little bit because he was taking a real long time to answer me. And I kept having to like double text him, which should have just been a sign in and of itself. So I didn't answer until the morning. And I just said, hey, excuse me. I said, hey, got your voice. No, it was really nice. I miss you a lot, too. Would love to see your face this weekend. No answer. Nothing. Not a zip zilch. And this was on Monday. Last Friday.
Oh.
This was on Friday, this past Friday. And yeah, he never answered that. And then I double texted him on Friday night and I just said, please stop ignoring me. It's hurting my feelings. Never answered. Tried FaceTiming him again because it worked last time. Did not answer that. Yeah, and I still have not heard from him. So, just the most bizarre. If people want to give me their input, some people are going to be like, did he die? No, because he viewed one of my stories, so definitely didn't die. I'm thinking he just, like, met another girl that he decided to love bomb, which is fine.
I don't think that's it.
I just, you know what I hate? Like, I could take it when it's, well, I really can't take any form of
You finish, and then I'm going to give you my...
But I just love when people are just like, hey, I'm not feeling it anymore because of this. He could have just sent me a voice note saying that, just explaining himself, and I would have been upset about it, but I would have had closure. I would have had closure. I would have been able to rationalize the lack of response on his end. But because I can't get anything, and the last messages that he sent to me were essentially like what I would think him kind of leaving the door back open for us.
Mm-hmm. Oh, give me those.
I'm so confused.
Anything from the trolley, dear?
Anything from the trolley, dear? So I'm just like so genuinely confused because I don't have an answer. I don't know why he's ghosting me.
You should be confused.
And I don't want to, I can't, I'm not reaching out anymore because I'm not fucking like desperate. I mean, I am desperate on the inside, but I'm not going to show that anymore on the outside more than I already have shown.
Katie is not desperate.
So,
she has tons of options.
But yeah, guys, it was a hot and heavy month. That was a phlegmy. It was a hot and heavy month. I was love bombed, you know, because he was like the flowers in the beginning and wanting to see me all the time. He invited me, literally 3 weeks in, he invited me to San Diego to meet his parents.
Did I know that?
I almost bought I don't know. I almost bought plane tickets because he's going to San Diego for like a week and a half.
Damn, this is kind of a love bomb.
He was like, I want you to come and meet my parents. Like, come visit me in San Diego. I almost bought tickets. I think you told me why. I don't know why I didn't buy tickets. Something like, I think we just got sidetracked and I never actually bought the tickets. Thank God I didn't. But this is like,
imagine if you
in
bought
my brain, I'm like, he wants
Spirit.
me to. Yeah, right. I was like, imagine, you know, somebody's talking about future events, meeting their, you know.
Where?
He needs to go out for sure.
Well, keep going. We'll take a break.
So, yeah, there was all these like mixed signals, future planning, et cetera, as love bombers like to do. And then when I let a little bit of a crazy side come out, and I'm not like in any way, like I know that it was crazy and I'm regretting that I handled it the way that I handled it. I could have handled it so much better. Like I am a grown woman.
But the onus of responsibility
like
is not entirely on you.
I did not have to handle like it's just not a rational, like I did not handle it like a sane, rational human being should handle a situation like that. And I'm aware of that. And you live and you learn. But the fact that it just took that one tiny event to give him the ick, because essentially what it is like he got the ick from me crashing out.
He got spooked.
And no, he got the ick. I mean, you can get scared and spooked, but like you would ask for some sort of reassurance.
Spooked is different than an ick for guys.
But an ick is what cuts you. Like an ick is like, that's it. Like once you get an ick, you can't go back. It's different than being spooked. When you're spooked, you'll still want some reassurance. You'll still be in communication with the person. Like, I think he got full-blown icked from me crashing out, which is fine. But, like, don't tell me that you're, like, miss me and stuff.
Okay, I totally agree with those definitions. I would just have switched the words, to be honest. But, yes, we're on the same page.
So, very confused about that. If anybody wants to let me know, I need some advice from men out there who have, or women who have experienced this, like, or men who have done this. Ooh, yeah, that's good. Men who have done this to women before, like why? I just want to know why, just so I can understand for myself and then I can properly move on. Because right now it's a little bit hard to move on and I'm a little disheartened and I'm not as excited to go on the dating apps because I'm like just still so confused and hung up on everything that has transpired over the past month. And again, like a strong feelings had developed for this person. So if the audience can let me know, or the men, whoever watched this, let me know like what they think about that. That would be great. David, if you can make that into a clip, that would be very appreciated. Can't believe I got through that without crying. Okay.
You did a really good job. I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
Well, I feel like one of the things I was going to say is I feel like part of the logistics of what happened harkens back to a concept we've discussed on a prior episode about how in today's day and age, especially with physical distance and just how technology proliferates in our communication, it's almost easier to ghost as a function of avoiding conflict or responsibility or confrontation. So I definitely think a little bit of that is at play. Like at some point he decided that he was out. Bro. Larry, stop. At some point, he decided he was out on it, and so instead of giving you like an actual why, he just went.
Yeah, that's definitely like obvious, right? That or else he would have answered me. But it's just like, why would you give me false hope?
I do think it is like objectively true that you were love bombed. Whether or not love bombing means someone is a bad person, I'm not trying to imply.
I don't think he was doing it intentionally.
Yeah, and to your point, I don't know the extent to which he was being intentional with love bombing. Sometimes you just get excited.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think he did get, I think he was genuinely excited.
Yeah.
Because I think of it, that's also what makes, I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you, but that's also what makes it so hard, too. It's her story. Is I think about how I know, like, that he liked me a lot. Like, there was at one point he thought I was, like, asleep on the couch once, because I was, like, we had went out, and he was, like, trying to get me to go to bed, and he was just, like, whispering how much he cared about me in my ears while he thought I was asleep. Drunk. Asleep. Which is, like, that shit to me, okay, I'm, like, such a romantic. If you do that to me, I will think about that for the rest of my life. Okay, and I think about those things, and it makes it very, very hard because I know he liked me, and I'm like, wow, fuck, that quickly just turned it off. And I don't
but that's where I was ultimately going. So I'll just get straight to brass tacks. Everything you're feeling regarding confusion and this lack of closure is extremely valid because you were getting so many signals, i.e. being love bombed. Like, it would have been one thing if you were telling me little anecdotes that you were over dramatizing or extrapolating into more than what they actually were. These are real things. Talking about going to your hometown, meeting your parents, whispering things in your ear while he thinks you're asleep, buying you things, like. And also, by the way, as things were spiraling or unraveling, whatever word you want to use, autonomously responding several times amidst large gaps in time, saying things like, I miss you, I wish I was in your bed. Like, I feel like if you want my honest opinion, I feel like actually, in a lot of ways, the very minor crash out that you had that started the unraveling kind of had nothing to do with it. That's my hot take. And the reason why I say that is because, yes, you had a minor crash out. Yes, it gave him some level of an ick. Yes, he admitted that on the FaceTime when he was saying, whoa, that was kind of crazy and I didn't know how to deal with it. But crash out or no crash out, as a guy, I still don't feel like you show that level of love bommingness and then one ick later you're out. I almost feel like the ick kick-started some thought in his mind of like, whoa. Like, am I moving too fast? Do I actually still have feelings for this person from 3 months ago? Do I actually like want to move back to San Francisco in 3 months?
I 1000% agree with you in the sense
like the ick I almost think was his out.
I know, and this is what also makes me go crazy is because like we literally waited an entire month to have sex. I said to him, I need a level of commitment before I have sex with you. That's just something that I'm very...
And that was a win.
And he respected that for the most part. It was very hard. There was a lot of sexual tension. There was a lot of foreplay and no sex that happened, which made it hard. Like, I wish that we almost like just didn't touch, but you know, you're spending so much time together, you're gonna. And we literally had sex, okay? And before we had sex, I asked him, are we exclusive? Do you want to delete our dating apps? He said yes and yes. So we deleted our dating apps, said yes to exclusivity. You know, a few minutes later, I'm like, okay, like, take your pants off, you know? So I'm like, fuck, am I really that bad at sex? Jesus Christ.
No,
gave me the ick right after sex. I don't think I am.
No, it wasn't the sex.
And I was very confident in my abilities.
No.
But then there was one point where I was pulling his hair too hard, and he made me stop pulling his hair too hard. And I'm like...
Doesn't matter.
That, I don't know why I can't stop thinking about that. Because I've never been, like, interrupted mid-sex.
You're fixating on that.
Something. Anyway.
Trust me, you're fixating on that.
And then after that, then we got in, like, a whole political debate. Then we, like, left on bad terms. And then it was a marathon thing. And so there were several events leading up to this ghosting in a very short amount of time. And I believe that it was everything together at once, and how I was not communicating very well through that entire time, and he was very big on communication, and through that whole thing I felt myself not necessarily communicating very well. So I think that
but
probably
that's the
added
irony,
to it.
right? Because he was big on communication the whole time, and then he was the one that ended up...
Well, because there's no longer anything... Like, the relationship is over, so it's like there's nothing for him to necessarily communicate, because there's no hope or...
Well, he could communicate why it's over.
Yeah, he could, but he, like... Yeah.
I'm not...
He could, and he should, and I feel like everybody should, like, don't do this to people. Like, I have
I would definitely not go so far as to say there's nothing left to communicate.
I really liked him, but I'd say this about every fucking guy.
But that's okay. That doesn't mean it's not true. Your feelings are valid.
Yeah, dude. I
feel like you have to let yourself recognize that your feelings are valid.
I literally fall in love so easily. It's so annoying, and it's like, then it's so hard to get over these people when it inevitably doesn't work out.
But try and find the silver lining in that. Like, you might feel like you fall in love too easily, but what would you rather have? Would you rather fall in love too easily or, like, never fall in love?
Well...
It's so corny, but honestly,
can I just fall in love like a normal
tis better to have loved and lost than have never loved at all.
Yeah, but no, I don't agree with that actually at all.
All right. Well, then you disagree with what I'm saying.
The pain that I've suffered and endured through multiple failed situationships over the past year and a half, like, the fact that I'm still standing is a miracle, because I treat each end to a situationship like a cataclysmic event. Is that a word?
But that was great.
Hell yeah.
You nailed that, honestly.
That's how my body treats it. That's how my brain treats it, as if I am in danger. And so,
fight or flight.
And I'm talking about, like, fetal position, crying hysterically. Like, how I dealt with a 5-year relationship ending is the same way, essentially, that I've dealt with, like, a month-long situationship ending. Maybe not to that extent, but, like, it's the same feeling. It's, like, just this guttural
But it's kind of all you know. I get that, though. Because I had a really rough time dealing with my 5-year relationship ending, and then I feel like the handful of times I've actually gotten excited about someone when it's ultimately crashed and burned, I've, like, in my own way, in my own Alex version, sort of crashed out as well, because it's like it's your response mechanism. Like, you get so conditioned to have so much more emotional depth and vulnerability when you spend 5 years with someone and start having the conversations about marriage and kids and whatever, to then go from that back to being single and starting completely over and being on your own and then starting something again. It's kind of like all we know. What
do you mean, it's all we know?
Like, both you and I, when we started those 5-year relationships compared to when we ended, we did a lot of growing up. We, like, became adults. So now we're fully grown adults with our own independent lives. We make our own money. We do our own things. We have our own timetables. We're literally completely on our own. We do whatever we want, right? There's no one, but we also have only us to answer to. We don't have kids. Yes, you have family in the area, but it's not like your grandma's living with you or you're still in your mom's basement. So we're completely on our own, being complete, raw, true adults. And then these new relationships begin to form. And it's almost like this might not be the best analogy, but I almost equate it to, like, imagine being an alcoholic and then going completely sober and successfully becoming sober, and then someone saying, like, okay, now you have to drink 1 beer, but that's the only thing you can drink. You'd fucking go mad, because you'd have that 1 beer knowing it's probably not the right approach for you, but then now you can't, like, what I'm trying to say is that our response mechanisms, our ways that we process things are in a lot of ways still the muscle memory of like a deeply involved relationship still exists in our mind and our behavior. Mm-hmm. That's why it's so easy for me on the guy's end of things. If I like someone and I get excited about them, like you know who from last year, it was so easy for me to buy her the birthday cake while she was on vacation, send her the flowers.
You love bombed her.
Yes, I unintentionally love bombed her because I was doing what any person in a committed long-term relationship would do. Because to me, that was just like, that's how I operated. That's what I had.
But were you in a relationship? Were you in a relationship?
No, what I'm saying is like, I had been in one. I had been in this very serious one for 5 years.
No, I know that, but like who you're talking about and what you were doing, and you're saying, yes, you love bombed her,
like
but
exclusive.
Did you know? But like you weren't feeling it. But you were just doing muscle memory. I get what you're saying.
Well, there was a lot of other things going on that were unique to her and I. The point I'm trying to make is like, I feel like for some people when they start dating someone, it takes a lot of buildup to get to the point where they're like buying them a gift or, you know, going that extra mile.
Maybe,
but for me, like I go that extra mile on the first date. He only ended
a like 3-year relationship like a year ago.
Yeah, so that's maybe definitely a wrinkle in it.
Maybe this was also just muscle memory, and he was just treating me like.
I don't think that invalidates like the way he was treating you. Like, it doesn't make it less genuine.
No. Well, yeah, I know. Well, yeah, I don't know.
No, I don't think it makes it less genuine. Just, God, I feel like I'm wearing fucking Baby Gap shorts. They keep hiking up.
That's what happens.
Do you have any other clothes, or do you only shop at Baby Gap?
What is that from?
Super bad.
So, yeah, I mean, the muscle memory, I think that could have been, I didn't even take that into consideration. He was just doing what he thought you were supposed to do.
I think the ick unraveling was the out. And somewhere along the way.
The ick unraveling was the out.
Was the out, in the sense that somewhere along the way, he had some sort of epiphany about how he wasn't ready for a relationship. And because here's the thing. I was so proud of you as all of this stuff was happening because you introduced me to him. He was, and I actually do still think this is true, he was a good guy. He was nice. He was put together. You had a lot of respect for yourself. You had very clear boundaries around sleeping together. You got to the milestone you wanted to for that to happen. You did basically everything right and everything you set out to do. So even though it doesn't really sound productive from a feedback perspective, I feel like subconsciously the reason why you're having a problem with this one is because it's not actually like your other situationships. Yeah, but
because I did everything I was supposed to do,
but
it still didn't work.
But at the same time, it's kind of like the first one where you did everything right, and it still sort of ended like the ways that the ones that you don't do right end. So now you're like, fuck, what the hell?
Worse.
Yeah.
I usually am not like the past ones at least have communication as to why they don't want to be with me.
Right.
But yeah, absolutely. And I think also though the thing that really fucks me up is that this is happening like over and over and over. I feel like it's Groundhog's Day. I feel like I am in this fucked up simulation and somebody is like, I am a sim, and they just keep leading me to these guys that are my type. And I keep acting a little bit differently with each of them, and I keep going for a different type of guy. All good looking, but like they're vastly different. Like Jay and Louis Armstrong, vastly different people.
That's another one.
So many Armstrongs. How can
Lance, Louis, Neil. Louis Armstrong isn't real. That's not a real
Louis
guy.
Armstrong.
I mean, I'm sure.
He is. He's a saxophone player. He's a famous.
Oh my God, you're right.
The guy who sings.
I'm such an uncultured piece of shit.
He's the guy that
Louis
sings.
Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong. So it keeps happening like over and over, and every single it's happened so many times. I've lost count, and this is does this make me sound like a fucking pathetic loser because I can't hold a guy down, and two, I keep getting in these situationships. Like it feels like once a month for the past like 2 years. That's like 24 situationships. Maybe not that many to that extent, but like, And every single time,
some
not
of these
every
guys
single time.
you didn't want to hold
Some
down.
of the guys I ended things with because I just was not feeling it. But more times than not, it was them.
Yeah, but
ending communication.
But some of the times it was a genuine. Like, think about it. If you take all of the situationships you're referring to, you eliminate all the ones where you ended it. So then you only have the ones where they ended it. Of those, if you could wave a magic wand and say they could reappear in your life and everything would be perfect and you could start over, like, how many of them would you actually want to take up on that offer? I would guess less
like 2?
Yeah, exactly. Less than 2.
And they're the recent ones.
But I feel like...
because that's also my ADHD is like out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. But it doesn't
I think that thought exercise...
in it and the feeling of that situationship ending, it's still
definitely not, but I think that thought exercise we just did proves that the process is refining.
I know, and I completely can see that, and I can point that out, but that does not change in any way how I feel right now and the deep, deep hole that I am in mentally. Because after every one, well, first of all, at the start of each one, I'm like, okay, this one's going to be different. And I'm hopeful, and I get my hopes up. That's pretty much it. I'm like, surely this one can't end too. You know, surely this one cannot end too, because there's been so many that have ended. Like, I need a break, right? Like, I'm going to be whoever, God, the universe, I'm going to finally catch my break, right? Like, this can't keep happening. One person can't endure all of this happening so many times, just like the feeling of rejection and the feeling like you're not good enough and the feeling of like, it's you, it's not them, because it's happened so many times. So like, this is a pattern. It has to be you, because you are the consistent factor, the
common denominator.
The common denominator, right? And so then that thought loop starts.
Generally, yes, that's true, but I do think this one was not you.
Okay, but like, it's just the idea of it happening over and over again, and it's just like, okay, and then but I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like I could pinpoint certain things that I can change, that I have changed with like different situationships, and I did this different this time, but that different or next time, and nothing seems to be working, and I feel like I'm going crazy. And it's like, I'm 31 years old, man. I'm getting fucking old, and I still have not, like, the fact that I'm still not settled down, I still haven't been able to find somebody that's like ready to commit to me lifelong. It does a damage on your self-worth, and like, it does some damage because it just makes you feel like you're never going to be good enough. As gay as that sounds, like, that's how it feels.
I've had the same train of thought.
But like, you always end, like, you're the one that usually ends it, I feel like, with people, but you don't really get yourself into situationships. Like, since I've known you, you've only been in like one situationship.
I've been in a few situationships.
Since I've known you, like, one.
I think there's just some situationships we've never talked about.
What the hell? Who?
Like this one girl I was in a situationship before we met.
Oh, that's before we met.
Yeah.
No, you told me about those briefly, but like, while we've befriended each other, been very good platonic friends, I've been in like so fucking many, dude. I've been in so many, and I don't do it on purpose. Many. Every single one, I'm like, this is it. This is gonna be the one.
We met in December, and there's only been like 4.
That's so many since December. That's a lot of situationships.
Okay,
and there's probably been more.
It sounds like a lot.
On top of that, failed dates that don't end up in a second date. Me getting, like, it's pretty much more than half of them is me getting my hopes up and then nothing coming of it. And it's just like, how much more can a person handle? I don't think much more.
It sounds like a big number, but at the same time, like, you and I both are looking for lifelong partners, so you got to keep going.
Of course, but right, of course. Like, but it's not like I'm the one
to get bigger until you find the last number.
But it's just like, on average, how many situationships does a person get in before they end up finding their lifelong partner? Not this many. I could tell you statistically, probably not this many. And then it's like, okay, I'm the problem, but I can't figure out why or how or what I'm doing wrong. Specifically, like, just being myself, because essentially that's what it is at the end of the day. I'm just myself, and I'm just being myself, which is, I guess, scary to some people, but like,
no, I don't think that's it.
like, I can't change that much of it. Do you know what I mean?
No, and you don't want to.
Right, I don't want to, but then it just makes you, like, think there's something fundamentally wrong with me, that I'm 31 years old and I still haven't been able to bag anybody.
I mean, trust me, I'm in the same spot. Yeah. I feel like some people on the other side, like especially guys, they get into this dynamic where, especially if they've had a serious relationship that was long, that ended, they almost create this insurmountable set of circumstances that need to be true for them to be willing to make themselves vulnerable again. And it's almost like an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. And I think that's a dynamic that also could be something you're facing. Like if it could have been with who we're just talking about. Like to your point of him getting out of a longer term relationship less than a year ago, maybe he subconsciously self-sabotaged because he's essentially afraid of getting hurt again. He created this paradigm where, he found a way to convince himself that something wasn't right. Maybe not necessarily even with you,
and
but
that's okay.
With
people
him.
Are complex, and I understand that makes every situationship and relationship complex. But I think it's just like wanting to see somebody's willingness to work through the complexities and just like going with how they feel. Because a lot of the times I've been I feel like, or I've been told that the feelings are there, but just like the circumstances or the situation is not aligning with somebody's goals. Dude, I feel you.
That literally just happened to me. Remember the girl I told you that I went out with before the one from this Saturday? But everything seemed to be going pretty well for at least like just continuing to see each other at least and like continuing to go on dates and see if a spark was there. And then we were having a conversation and I had brought up that my summer plans had changed and I was going to be essentially out of town most of June and July. And she was basically like, how am I supposed to work with that regarding like continuing to see you? And my whole thing was like, I feel like if you really want to be with someone, like not seeing them for 6 to 8 weeks isn't the end of the world. It sucks. But all the dynamics aside, my whole thing to her was like, hey, I'm not saying that you're wrong because you control your own schedule and you should have the type of relationship you want to have for yourself. But where I was coming from, my opinion was like, if you're actually into me, then we should be able to make this work. I basically sent her that in a long text, and I haven't heard from her in weeks.
Oh, well,
and part of me is just like, I don't know if I want to respond again. Like, I don't have any animosity at all towards her. We had a really nice time.
Why didn't she answer? Though, I mean, it's kind of
but like I feel like she could have at least just said like, this isn't going to work for me. I need more than that.
I think some people get very overwhelmed.
Whereas sick sushi date, lawyer girl, she had a somewhat similar concern because her and I were talking and I was like, hey, I'm planning to take you on these dates. I'm really excited to see you, but like we're going to have to be a little flexible because in June I'm going to be gone most weekends and then in July I'm going to be completely gone for several weeks.
Right.
And she was like, okay, like I am a little concerned about that gap in time, but if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And I was just like, yeah, exactly.
I went through the same shit with Joy.
Like, listen, the last relationship that I had that was almost 5 years where we were living together. I had a ring in my pocket. We had a dog. We owned property together. Like, the first 16 months of that relationship, we were long distance. So don't tell me that Yeah. So don't tell me that 7 weeks of possibly not seeing someone is like the nail in the coffin.
An hour commute.
Or fucking dude. Exactly. And once again, if that is too much for you, that's totally cool, man or lady. But don't
start future planning with me if that's too much for you.
Exactly. You are obviously allowed to set whatever rules and boundaries you have for yourself around what your tolerance level is for forming a relationship, what you are and aren't willing to deal with. But I guess what I'm trying to say is like, try and be as brutally honest with yourself as possible about that, because what ends up happening, and everyone does it, I've done it, I'm sure Katie's done it, I'm not saying that we're only the victims here, we are all culprits. But what ends up happening is you get into these situations, formative weeks and months, and then you have that light bulb moment and you make what is ultimately the right decision for yourself, but you end up hurting someone else. And you very likely didn't want to do that. And in a way, you kind of hurt yourself too. So it's just like, for example, if you aren't willing to go more than 3 weeks without seeing someone within the first 3 months of dating them before you call it exclusive or boyfriend, girlfriend, like, I would probably establish that in like the first date. Like, hey, FYI, if you've got any long-term travel, let's just pull the plug on this now.
Yeah.
You know?
To be fair though, before this ends, it like to get to know somebody on like the deepest level possible, you do need to spend that time physically together. I get it. So I get it, but like there's so much time between now and then.
Yeah.
So there's time to build that. And can't they come with you on some of the things?
Well, I think part of that too is just being an adult. Like, I totally agree. You need to spend time with someone in person to really form that deeper connection. But if some of that time is lacking because you're not in the same physical space, I feel like the mature response for the other person is to be like, okay, well then I'm not necessarily going to have a problem if you're like casually still kind of searching in a way. Like, I'm not laying claim to you, but also I kind of know like I'm in pole position and I'm at the front of the pack in a way, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, if I was gone for 8 weeks and this girl that I'm really excited about starting to date told me that like some guy slid into her DMs, that's fine.